Hi, I'm Greg Zeschuk from the Blind Enthusiasm Brewing Company, and I'm here for the Cellar Report for Substantially Complete 2021. This was packaged June 10th in 2021, and I'm here with Doug Cheknita, the head brewer and blender from Blind Enthusiasm Brewing Company. This blend is 1, 2, 3 year barrels mixed fermentation beer, and interestingly, there's one single partial barrel of cognac in this that you'll hear about a little in the actual report. It's quite significant, and once again, Substantially Complete is a cross-section of our mixed fermentation program at any one time. This is being tasted December 2024, and Doug and I cheated and tasted this in advance, so we knew we were getting into. It's delicious. One other call-out on this was also the Concours de Lyon gold medalist in 2021. So pretty cool. We're going to try this beer now. All right, so now Doug's going to open the bottle. We're going to try this delicious beer. All right. The anticipation could be cut with a knife. What's going to happen next? There's always excitement in these videos. But as Doug points this bottle at me,
I'm right-handed.
It's all good. I know. It's all good. I don't mind.
We're confined.
We're confined to the table here. All right. So we're going to pour out this delightful blend of 1, 2, and 3-year-old barrels. First off, how's the cork look, Doug? That one looks pretty pristine.
Yeah, so at being 2021, it's not the oldest of bottles that we've opened. For the keen eye observer who might open multiple vintages of our bottles, we went through a cork change at this point in time. So these corks are slightly darker cork, and that doesn't mean that it's a better cork or a worse cork. It just is where the cork comes from the piece of bark.
Oh, cool. Nice.
So with these ones, we did get a slightly darker cork, so that's not indicative of anything for the beer, but it will look different than some of our other vintages where the cork's a little lighter. This cork's very intact. The wax structure on the outside is still very intact too, which is a really good sign.
Yeah, it's nice.
Really good humidity, and then very even all the way through. So it means the inside and outside were kept really well. Aromatically, it smells very clean. It's not always an indication whether or not the beer is going to be good, but it is a good thing to check just to make sure there's nothing horrendous or off with it.
And one good call as well is all these bottles Doug's going to start pouring here. These are all professionally cellared in our cellar, so very consistent in temperature, very consistent in humidity. So results may vary if you store them differently. So if they're in a basement, for example, it changes temperature. It may accelerate the aging process and the cellaring process. So we've got a really consistent cellar that we use for this. So first off, the color of this is delightful.
Yeah, so the clarity's held up really nicely, and this is their pretty typical like deep gold color. Nice fine bubbles coming up.
Yeah, great foam structure too.
Yeah,
right?
and then the foam, surprisingly and sometimes not surprisingly, is still very stable for this type of beer. Yeah, it's pretty
cool. Now smelling. So this is pretty bold. This is a nice and bold beer.
Yeah, so this one, I think, going into some of our the second vintage of this beer, we had more options. So 1, 2, and 3 year. That's going to bring more complexity of compounds you can get into the beer. And then notably on this one, it's like very strong stone fruit, like very punchy up front. You do get some of the cellar character already coming through, so you are getting a little bit of like subtle notes of leather, maybe a touch of tobacco in there and everything like that. This one, we had a broader range of barrels, so you're getting slight red wine and slight like the grape quality that you get out of a cognac barrel in there.
Yeah, definitely.
And then classic like florality, quite floral on the nose.
Really bright aroma, and I know we both cheated. We tried this already, so delicious. Yeah.
Something aromatically of note while you take your sip is, and we talked about this when we were tasting it, some of these beers, when they're especially like younger, they have almost like a lightness to the gas of the aroma. So we talk about it being almost like ozone when it's fresh, like freshly
Almost
rained.
prickly in a hard way to
Yeah,
explain.
really light air, really bright, almost refreshing quality to it.
So we're at, like, I mean, reference point again. This is 3-year-old cellared. So this could have been packaged yesterday. It's crisp and fresh as can be, right? Like,
Yeah, it's not gonna have like the deep qualities of a long cellared
starting to get a hint
bottle.
of that leather, though. I think.
Yeah, there's hints of it there. So yeah, on the flavor, the qualities really mimic what's going on aromatically.
Yeah,
like they do match up. You're getting that strong stone fruit. There's those hints of leather, a little bit more citrus, kind of like a savory lime going on in the flavor that's not as present in the aromatics. And then you are, for those that like try cognac and other brown liquors, there is some qualities of that in the flavor, especially.
Yeah, no, it's the flavor really. There's maybe I don't get a lot in the nose, but the flavor. We've beer de Charente. It's almost like a little tiny bit that's in there, and of course that was the same family of barrels that this was used for.
Yeah.
So it's got this really nice character there.
Yeah, and you get like the subtle oak that comes with that as well.
Yeah. It's really nice.
And then, like we were talking before, there's these subtle red fruit, like wine quality characters, especially in the finish and everything.
So we make like acidity in this beer. Like, how would you characterize the acidity profile this beer has?
Yeah, so this is with the multiple vintages, getting stuff that's spent more time. There is definitely a presence of acidity, but it's not extreme in any way. I'd say more in like the medium light range.
Yeah.
Especially compared to some of like the single vintage stuff we've done.
It's got a bit of a juiciness to it, doesn't it? Like a juicy quality of that acidity.
Yeah,
it's like salivating, right?
With the complexity of barrels and different vintages that we can blend, you do get a complexity of acidity. So it's not just acidity first. You do get a texture of acidity, and like it makes you salivate and becomes like juicy in the quality of the acidity too, while having like a roundness to it without being too sharp in any way.
Yeah, it's great. And texture on this, like, I mean, again, we really, really work hard to make sure that these complex beers maintain their texture, and this is another great example, I think.
Yeah, it's full. It's coating. With this one, you do get like from some of the cognac and red wine barrels, like a tannin quality that's coating, or it will kind of clean up the coating in the finish, so it'll finish really clean and fresh on the palate after it's coating through the mid palate and everything like that.
That's awesome. Finally, carbonation. It's kind of
and the carbonation. It's not, again, maybe not as present as some of our beers, like the Quince beer we've made that's like super prickly.
Yeah.
This one's definitely retained its carbonation over the last 3 years.
I think it suits the beer very well, though. Like, I feel like it kind of captures it. I mean, hey, gold medal award winner in France. This beer's holding up really, really well.
Yeah.
We're just barely starting to see some of the signs of aging, like the leather, the more savory elements. I think this could be a drink now because it's great, but you could hold on to this for a number of years.
Yeah, if you like the quality of our beer, the more fermentative side, the like bright fruit, you like that side of the beer, it's definitely like a drink now. But this beer has so much structure left in it that you could let it go, and it would definitely get more interesting and change and develop some of those more like classic cellar character that we talk about, like the leather, some of the more savory elements. It would soften the tannin, some things like that.
Be a monster there. But that's it. That's the Cellar Report for Substantial Complete 2021. If you have it, you could enjoy it now, or you could wait. That's all I got. Tom said I have to wait till I say anything. Is this enough, Tom? Tom? All right.